Okay, 10 questions and answers in English about being in a cafe. Useful for practice. 1. Where are you right now? I am I am in a cafe near my house. 2. What are you doing in the cafe? I'm drinking coffee and studying on my laptop. What kind of drink do you usually order? I usually order a cappuccino, um, but sometimes I try iced coffee. Do you like to eat something at the cafe? Yes, I often eat a croissant or a slice of cake. Uh, do you go to the coffee alone or with friends? Sometimes, and I go alone to focus, but I also like going with friends to talk. Why do you like staying in a cafe? Because it's quiet, relaxing, and the atmosphere helps me concentrate. Do you have a favorite coffee? Yes, and there's one with comfortable chairs and very good music. What do you usually see in a cafe? I see people drinking coffee, working on laptops, cheating, and reading books. How often do you go to a cafe? I usually go once or twice a week, especially on weekends. What do you enjoy the most about cafes? I enjoy the smell of fresh coffee, the cozy atmosphere, and the chance to relax. Hannah Wright by Charles Bukowski, Chapter 8. I took the envelope home to my mother and handed it to her and walked into the bedroom. My bedroom, the best thing about the bedroom was the bed. I like to stay in bed for hours, even during the day with the covers pulled up to my chin. It was good in there. Nothing ever occurred in there. No people, nothing. My mother often found me in bed in the daytime. Henry, get up. It's not good for young boy to lay in bed all day. Now, get up. Do something. But there was nothing to do. I didn't go to bed that day. My mother was reading the note. Son, I heard her crying. Then she was wailing. Oh my God, you've disgraced your father and myself. It's a disgrace. Suppose the neighbors find out. What will the neighbors think? They never spoke to their neighbors. Then the door opened and my mother came running into the room. How could you have done this to your mother? The tears were running down her face. I feel guilty. Wait until your father gets home. She slammed the bedroom doors and I sat in the chair and waited. Somehow, and I feel guilty. I heard my father coming. He always slammed the door, walked heavily, and talked loudly. He was home. After a few moments, the bedroom door opened. He was 6 feet 2, a large man. Everything vanished. The chair I was sitting in, the wallpaper, the walls, all of my thoughts. He was the dark covering the sun. The violence of him made everything else utterly disappear. He was all earth, nose, mouth. I couldn't look at his eyes. There was only his red, angry face. All right, came into the bedroom and walked in and closed the door behind us. The walls were white. There was a bedroom mirror and a small window. The screen black and broken. There was the bed tub and the toilet and the tails. He reached and took down the razor strap which hung from a hook. It was going to be the first of many such beatings, which would recur more and more often. Always, I failed, without real reason. All right, take down your pants. I took my pants down. Pull down your shorts. I pulled them down. Then he laid on the strap. The first blow inflicted more shock than pain. The second for more. Each blow which followed increased the pain. At first I was aware of the walls, the toilet, the tube. Finally, I couldn't see anything as he bade me. He berated me, but I couldn't understand the words. I thought about his roses, how he grew roses in the yard. I thought about his automobile in the garage. I tried not to scream. I knew that if I did scream, he may stop. But knowing this and knowing his desire for me to scream prevented me, the tears ran from my eyes as I remained silent. After a while, it would become just a whirlpool and jumble, and there was only the deadly possibility of him there forever. Finally, like something jerked into action, I began to sob, swallowing and choking on the salt slime that ran down my throat. He stopped. He was no longer there. I became aware of the little window again in the mirror. There was the razor strap hanging from the hook, long and broad and twisted. I couldn't bend over to pull out my pants or my shorts, and I walked to the door, unwirling my clothes around my feet. I opened the bedroom door, and there was my mother standing in the hall. It wasn't right, I told her. Why didn't you help me? The father, she said, is always right. Then my mother walked away and went to my bedroom, drawing my clothing around my feet and sat on the edge of the bed. The mattress hurt me. Outside, through the rare screen, I could see my father's roses growing. They were red and white and yellow, large and full. The sun was very low but not yet set, and the last of it slanted through the rear window. I felt that even the sun belonged to my father, that I had no right to it because it was shining upon my father's house, as well as his roses summoning that belonged it to him and not to me. Chapter 9. And by the time they called me to dinner, and I was able to pull up my clothing and walk to the breakfast now where we ate all our meals except on Sunday. And there were two pillows on my chair. I sat on them, but my legs and I still burned. My father was talking about his job, as always. I told Sullivan to combine 3 rows into 2 and let one man go for the next shift. Nobody's really pulling their way around there. They ought to listen to you, Daddy, said my mother. Please, I said, please excuse me, but I don't feel like eating. You laid your food, said my father. Your mother prepared this food. Yes, said my mother. Carrots and peas and roast beef. And the mashed potatoes and gravy, said my father. I'm not hungry. You will eat every carrot and pea on your plate, said my father. He was trying to be funny. That was one of his favorite remarks. Daddy, said my mother in shocked disbelief. I began eating. I was terrible. I feel as if I were eating them, what I believed in what they were. I didn't chew any of it. I just swallowed it to get rid of it. Meanwhile, my father was talking about how good it all tasted, how lucky we were to be eating good food when most of the people in the world, and many even in America, were starving and poor. What's for dessert, Mama? My father asked. His face was horrible. The lips pushed out, crazy and wet with pleasure. He acted as if nothing had happened, as if he hadn't been me. When I was back in my bedroom, I thought these people are not my parents. They must have adopted me, and now they are unhappy with what I have become.